In this lesson, we're going to review Unit 2 and everything that goes in with that. So this number 17 right here, we have a one-step equation. Make sure that you draw your fence. X has a negative 10 on the same side, so we're going to add 10 to get rid of it. Negative 9 plus 10 is 1, so 1 equals X, since those cancel out. In number 18, X is being divided by 4. To get X alone, we're going to multiply by 4. These 4's cancel out. A divided and a multiply get rid of each other, so then X is equal to negative 8 times 4, which is negative 32. For number 19, we're going to write the equation, and then we'll solve it. Ralph equals 4/5 the size of Ann. The word of is your key word here. It means to multiply, and we're just going to use A for Ann. So you should realize that Ralph's height should be smaller than Ann's because he's only 4/5 as tall as she is, okay? So when you get your answer, this 60, which is Ralph's height, we're going to plug that in, should be smaller than whatever we get for A. To get rid of this 4/5, we're going to technically divide that whole thing by 4/5 on both sides. I suggest use a calculator for that, unless you remember to keep change flip. So 60 in parentheses, or divided by parentheses 4/5 gives me 75. So that's exactly what we needed. We needed Ann to be taller than Ralph. I'm going to go ahead and do 20. Well, I could probably fit it right there. So 6x plus 6 is 48. Draw your fence. This is my associate, so I'm going to get rid of him first. So then I'm left with 6x equals 48 minus 6 is 42. One-step equation, divide by 6. X is 7. All right, and 21 is a little bit weird. If you have $48 and then you've got a coupon for a $6 discount, I know when you see the word discount, you think that you got to take money away, but in this situation, it's like almost a gift card. You have like free money. So you had the $48 that you really did have, but you also have this like free money to spend. So technically, you've got $54 in your hands. Now, if each shirt costs $7, how many shirts can I buy? I'm going to divide by the cost of the shirt. And it gives me a decimal. It gives me 7.7, 14 or something. Okay? So I know you think that when you see this 0.7, 5 or above, give it a shove. You can't round this number up. I can't afford 8 shirts, but I can definitely afford 7. That is the golden number here. 22. We're going to look at my best friend is that being divided by 3, and my acquaintance or my associate is this 9. The 9 is what I get rid of first. So I'm left with M over 3, and it's equal to 10. To get rid of that divided by 3, I'm going to multiply by 3, which cancels those out, and M is equal to 30. 23. It's going to be a two-step equation, but before I can do that, I need to combine my like terms. I got a 10 and a negative 3. So I have 7x minus 9 equals 40. Now it's a two-stepper. I could not combine 9 with anything because this 9 and this 40 are on different sides of the equation. If I'm going to combine them, then I've got to move it by changing the sign. So 7x equals 49. Divide both sides by 7. And 49 divided by 7 is 7. That looks like a magic number here. We should play Lotto. 24. You take your brother and sister to a ball game and buy them shirts and hats. The shirts cost $10 each. Your brother wants 2 shirts and 3 hats, and your sister wants 2 shirts and 4 hats. If your total bill is $75, how much is each hat? So here's what my brother got, and then I'm going to add whatever my sister got, and I know it's going to equal $75. So the shirts were $10 each, and he got 2 of them. And he also got 3 hats. I don't know how much a hat cost. She got 2 shirts worth $10 each, and 4 hats, so 4 each. I've got 20, and 20 is 40, plus 3 and 4 is 7 hats for $75. Subtract the 40, so 7h equals 35. Divide by 7. Each hat costs $5. We're going to solve 25 and 26 on the notebook page right underneath this. 25. We have to distribute right here. There's the question. And once I've done the distributive property, I have a negative 6x and a positive 15. If you forget those signs, the whole problem's going to be wrong. Subtract that 15 from both sides. 75 minus 15 is 60. And then divide both sides by negative 6. X equals negative 10. And 26, 18x plus 2 equals 10x plus 66. If I've got variables on both sides of the equation, I'm going to VC. Put all the variables on the left. The variable that's there is that 18x. The other variable in my equation is a 10x, but it's on the wrong side of the fence. So if it jumps, it becomes a negative. The constant that's here is a 66. Use those things. And the constant that needs to come over is a 2, but it's on the other side, make it a negative, or the opposite sign. So combine like terms, we got 8x equals 64. Divide both sides by 8. X equals 8. Let's do 27 here as well. 27 is a literal equation. 1/2 base times height, the area of a triangle. Oh, you can't see that. And I'm asked to solve for h. That means I gotta get rid of this b and this 1/2. I'm gonna get rid of the 1/2 first. Technically, these 3 things are being multiplied. So I'm going to divide everything by 1/2, which is the same thing as multiplying by 1/2. So multiplying by 2, excuse me. So I'm going to take the whole thing to get rid of this 1/2. I'm going to multiply by 2. So I'm left with 2a, and that part canceled, equals bh. If I'm solving for h, the only thing left with it is b. Divide by b. And now h is alone. And I would just rewrite it to make it look better. 2a over b equals h. We can probably do the rest on the front of this. 28, and you can transfer the answers here if you'd like. This was -10, x was 8, 2a over b. All right, how many minutes is 8 hours and 30 minutes? We don't explicitly teach conversions in Math 1, but it's something you're expected to know throughout, so that's why we put this in here. So 8 hours, there's 60 minutes in an hour, plus 30 minutes. So I have 480 minutes plus 30, that's 510 minutes. We got a proportion. You remember, you cross multiply, 3 times x is 3x. That's equal to 9 times 5, which is 45, which becomes a one-step equation. X equals 15. If I'm going from a decimal to a percent, I got to know where my decimal is. A percent to a decimal. My decimal in the percent is behind it. And to go to a decimal, it's going smaller. Go to the left 2 times. That's 0.05 or 0.05. The decimal version is always smaller than the percent. So then if I'm given this decimal, to turn it into a percent, I'm going 2 spaces to the right. So that's 1.24%.